The very first Tinfoil Tuesday that I ever made focused on a certain M. Benz who claimed that dinosaurs were a hoax.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is M. Benz back with another video for you here today. Today, we are talking about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. And did they ever exist?
Yes, they existed. Well, today's video is from someone who doesn't think that they're a hoax, but they lived very, very recently rather than millions of years ago. Who is this proponent, I hear you ask? None other than Mr. Matt Powell official. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a quick nod to the sponsors of today's video, Raycon. Raycon earbuds start about half the price as other top premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing as the top audio brands that you already know. And their latest model, the Everyday E25, is their best one yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. Raycons make a great holiday gift because it's something they can use every day, for work, for play, at home or on the go. And during these difficult times, good for just shutting everything out. During the second lockdown here in the UK, I spent a lot of time catching up on my audiobooks. Raycons are perfect for shutting out the world whilst I do it. Raycon's being generous for the holidays, so on top of their everyday great prices, Raycon are giving all of my viewers 15% off so they can save on gift shopping. Click on the link in the description or visit buyraycon.com/SimonDan to get 15% off your Raycon purchase today. Right, back to today's video and Mr. Matt Powell official, have to remember to put that official in there, where he is issuing a challenge to atheists regarding dinosaurs. Interesting.
In 1990, they dug up dinosaur bones with tissue that had blood inside of it, still contained, with the hemoglobin still in the blood. Now, do you guys think that blood could last for 65 million years? Dinosaur blood? Do you think that's really rational and logical to believe that?
Oh, this one, of course. Right, first off, the tests were done by the discoverer herself, and they were not found to be actual red blood cells, rather some chemically transformed remnants of the dinosaur's blood.
In 2005, the same scientists went out and they discovered dinosaur flesh. And it was fresh, it was moist, resilient, soft. They could squeeze the blood right out of the flesh.
Awkwardly, when they thought they found tissue again in 2005, it wasn't a slam dunk either. There's been several papers written on this since the discovery, and it turns out that it's all to do with the amount of iron in the blood and the method of fossilization. Has Matt Powell read any of these papers? I think not.
Wow. So to say that dinosaur flesh lasted for 65 million years, I mean, are you kidding me? Now here's how the evolutionist will respond.
Oh, he's preempting this. Let's see what he says.
You have to have preservation. Well, here's a scientific paper stating that preservation techniques don't matter when it comes to deep time. Check this out. It says such preservation, it's talking about the dinosaur tissues, has been attributed to isolation or stabilization by incorporation into minerals, organometallic complexing, and physical or chemical binding to mineral surfaces and anhydrous sugar-protein cross-linking processes, but none of these models provide an explanation for patterns of originally proteinaceous soft tissue preservation in vertebrae, hard tissues in deep time. So notice those last few words there. None of it accounts for hard tissues in deep time.
Ah, I see. Maybe he has read some papers. The trouble is, Matt Powell official, that when you cite papers like this, you should really read all of it, because the exact same paper says this, and I quote, "The soft tissues we analysed are a product of the transformation of endogenous proteins in oxidative terrestrial, lacustrine and shallow marine settings." It also makes no reference to the fact that the age of these fossils are under scrutiny.
So when an evolutionist says, well, the blood could last under certain circumstances, under chemical binding and mineral surfaces, the scientific consensus is, and this is a peer-reviewed paper, by the way, and the link in the source is right there for the evolutionists to go ahead and grab that. It demonstrates that no matter what kind of preservation technique that you think was placed on this dinosaur tissue, no matter what happened to the tissue, even if it was in an airtight jar that was in another airtight jar and another airtight jar and another airtight jar, deep time deteriorates or causes DNA and blood to deteriorate, whether it's in a stable environment or not.
Yes, it is a peer-reviewed paper, which is why you should take the whole paper into account, not just one line.
These are secular scientists stating that if you think that dinosaur tissue could last and that dinosaur blood and hemoglobin in those blood cells could last for 65 million years, they're telling you that that's wrong and that it can't survive in deep time.
And as I stated, at no point in this paper do they question the age of these fossils.
The tricky thing about Schweitzer's work is that she needs to get her hands on the insides of dinosaur bones, which means literally breaking the bones apart. Being a fossil, there should have been nothing left. But there was. And it was elastic, like living tissue.
This is the piece.
No. She showed us video she took under the microscope.
That's really what happened?
Yes.
That's the dinosaur bone?
That's what was left.
It looked like the soft tissue she would have expected to find if it had been modern bone. This was impossible. This bone was 68 million years old.
So you see this and you think, what? You
I didn't want to tell anybody.
that you'd be ridiculed,
Yes.
right?
And so I said to my technician, okay, do it again. I don't believe it.
And yet, in sample after sample, they were there. Things that looked suspiciously like flexible, transparent blood vessels.
The problem is they aren't actually blood cells. They are mineralized traces of blood cells, something which this documentary explains.
Well, the peer-reviewed papers say otherwise. They say that in deep time it's not possible. So there's only two possibilities. Either one, the dinosaur died recently, or two, you're just make-believing and you're continuing to be willingly ignorant of what the facts are and what the truth is. Truth is what we can demonstrate, what the facts are. And we can demonstrate that this tissue could not have survived in deep time. So I would like to see an evolutionist respond to that. I'm putting out a challenge right now, and the link is there. The challenge is to any evolutionist that wants to try and justify how blood and hemoglobin and tissue, moist, resilient tissue and flesh could last for 65 million years. That's what I'd like to know.
I think I have done that. You also have to take into account that these fossils are found in dated rock strata. Have a guess at the dates. Right, that is another Tinfoil Tuesday done and dusted. An absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for watching today. If you enjoyed it, then please do drop a like on the video and subscribe as well if the feeling takes you. Just enough time to once again thank Raycon for sponsoring today. Remember, visit buyraycon.com/SimonDan to get 15% off your first order. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all on Friday, where Howard George Stirrup, the man who did his 3 DIY flat earth experiments, is back. See you then.